Snubs on the beat.
What's good, y'all? Welcome back to the Cycle 365. This is episode 36, recorded on June 8th, 2020. I am one of your co-hosts, Simon Villanos.
I'm Kodey Stauffer.
And I'm Jesse Booten.
And it's been a hot minute since us three have been able to talk together. It's been at least 2 weeks.
Yep. And Jesse back in Town, USA, his favorite place on the planet.
Ooh.
More like moo.
Well, move on.
Yep. So we're back with normal content of today. We're gonna react to the top 74 basketball players of all time. I know this is a little overdue, a little late, but we have some pretty strong opinions. So we're gonna start at the top, going down, because I feel like that's the most obvious way of going about it. So 1 through 10, I'll go ahead and just say what it is 1 through 10. So at number 1, it's Michael Jordan. Number 2, it's LeBron James. Number 3, it's Kareem Abdul-Jabbar. At number 4, it's Bill Russell. Number 5, it's Magic Johnson. Number 6, it is Wilt Chamberlain. At number 7, it's Larry Legend, Larry Bird. At number 8, it's Tim Duncan. Number 9, it's Kobe Bryant. And then at number 10, it's Shaq. So let's talk about this list. For y'all, what were the most obvious picks? And then, let's go with that. What were the most obvious spots? What did ESPN nail?
Michael Jordan at 1.
Yeah.
I mean,
Are you sure you don't want LeBron at 1?
not yet. But no, I feel like 1, 2, and 3 is. I think that's perfect. 1 through 3, and then you can make arguments for 4 through 10, but you can't argue 1 through 3, in my opinion.
Yeah, I mean, I would probably. I don't know if I'm being honest. Maybe it's just because I didn't watch a lot of these older players like that, but I kind of feel like maybe able to throw in a Bill Russell or a Wilt Chamberlain pretty close next to Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, but I can't really argue with Kareem at 3 though.
No, I mean, he's still the all-time leading scorer.
Yeah, that's right. Okay, yeah, then you got a point. I'll give it to you there. For now. Well, you said not yet for LeBron, right?
No, not yet.
What would it take for him to be number 1?
2 more championships?
What about you, Jesse?
I think Michael Jordan should be at number 1 and LeBron should be at 2.
No matter what, LeBron will always be at 2?
No, not necessarily. I'm just saying right now. Are we doing this right now?
Yeah.
I think there's definitely a possibility that LeBron can overcome Michael Jordan. Like Cody said, if he wins a few more championships, and then I guess I'll see it at the end of his career what happens if he does win those 2 more championships, and if he continues to play out as he is, then I think he could probably overtake Michael Jordan. But as of right now, I think Cody's right, and he should be at 2.
All right, fair enough. All right, so let's talk about surprises in the top 10. Were there any surprises for y'all at all?
Not really. I would reorder it just a little bit. Jesse, you're nodding.
So,
what would you reorder?
I just personally think Kobe Bryant should be higher than 9.
Where would you put him on this list?
Well, at least above Tim Duncan for sure. And then maybe that's tough. I could see him up with Magic Johnson at 5 and 6. Wilt Chamberlain.
See, I when I first looked at this list, I was thinking that, but honestly, I think that Tim Duncan should be ahead of Larry Bird, and maybe even Wilt Chamberlain, just because of the team player that he was. And I don't necessarily think that Kobe should be ahead of Tim, just because he was like the dude for that Spurs franchise, and they haven't won a championship since he's been gone. I mean, same with the Lakers and Kobe, but I feel like the Spurs are a lot further from like.
Hold up, doesn't Tim Duncan only have 5 championships and Kobe has 6?
No, they both have 5.
Wait. Oh, oops, never mind. Okay, yeah, I mean, I'll give it to you there. Didn't Tim Duncan win in 3 different decades too?
Yeah, he won at the end of the 90s and then 3 in the 2000s, I'm pretty sure, and then 1 more in the 2010s against the Heat, nonetheless. And he's also, I think he's a better all-around player. Like, Kobe Bryant's definitely a better scorer than Tim Duncan, but I honestly think that Duncan's, like, rebounding and also, like, I'd say that he's a really good, underrated passer, even.
Yeah, sure. I'll give it to them. Look, this is just me probably being a little bit biased, but I really don't think Larry Bird's as good as he is, and he should probably be closer to the back end of this top 10. It's just my opinion.
I mean, he's a top 10 player of all time, and his career was like, it was only like 10 years, but he did so much in that 10 years. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, I got you. He did do a lot, for sure, but I mean, we're talking about longevity too here as well. I assume that's what that applies to this list. Playing throughout multiple, eras, you could say, or for playing at a high level for as long as you can. So, like, I don't know. That's just, I know it's not his fault that his body broke down on him, but I mean, if we're splitting hairs, then that's what I'm going to.
Yeah, I mean, like I already said, I moved Tim Duncan ahead of Bird, and then I could probably move Kobe ahead of Bird. I think also part of it is like impact too, because it took Bird and Magic to really make basketball like a national, spectacle.
Big deal, yeah.
So, but I think I don't really have anything else on the top 10. I mean, of course you could. Like I said, you can move 4 through 10 in a lot of different ways, just because, Shaq at the height of his powers was, probably the best center of all time as far as peak goes, but, and just his size and athleticism. But my biggest move is Tim Duncan up to number 6.
Okay, fair enough. See, did you have anything to add, or are we good?
No, I think we're good. I think I just may try to make my case for Kobe, Rip.
Yeah. I mean, yeah, no, I get that. I feel like, I don't know, I'm not gonna lie. I feel like now that he's gone, like, sometimes there's definitely a feel that he was way better than what he was at times, which is just, like, that's just how, NBA legends are seen once they pass, or athletes in general, once they pass, but, I mean, it's hard to take it at face value. So I get it, but I would agree that Kobe should be a little bit higher than where he's at. Yeah. All right. So moving on. 11, we have Oscar Robertson. At 12, we have Hakeem Olajuwon. At 13, we have Steph Curry. At 14, we have Kevin Durant. At 15, we have Dr. J, Julius Erving. 16, we have Jerry West. 17, we have Karl Malone. At 18, we have Moses Malone. 19, we have my boy Dirk Nowitzki. At 20, we have Kevin Garnett. And then at 21, we have Scottie Pippen. All right. So there's a lot to argue here.
Yeah, there is. Yeah, there is. Yeah, okay, listen here. Kevin Durant ahead of Dr. J is one of the most blasphemous things I've ever seen in my entire life. Like, yeah, he's a one-of-a-kind scorer of all time, but let's be real, if he doesn't join a super team, he doesn't have 2 rings. So, and that's why Steph Curry is ahead of Kevin Durant, is because without Steph Curry, Durant ain't nothing. So, and, we'll watch his career fizzle out over in Brooklyn. Also, Karl Malone is, I've talked about this before, and I mentioned it in an article I wrote. Off the field or off the court in this case matters. And Karl Malone is like the single-handed most sus guy of all time. Like, if you don't know, look into it, but he impregnated a minor and then didn't raise the kid. And he did that like twice. And he also was like, things came out that he was flirting with Vanessa Bryant when he was on the Lakers with Kobe. So, like, yeah, Karl Malone's a bum. He shouldn't be ahead of Moses Malone, and he shouldn't be ahead of Dirk. I mean, Dirk is one of the best scorers of all time, and he can score from all levels. Karl Malone wasn't like a 3-point shooter the way that Dirk was. That's my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents. And put Kevin Durant behind the logo as well. Jerry West, come on.
Okay, how about this? Hear me out. I know I'm a little bit of a homer, but would you put Dirk above KD?
Yes.
Okay, well, I guess that wasn't controversial. What about you, Jesse?
I would also agree that Dirk should be above Kevin Durant. Yes.
But I would probably still have Dirk behind Steph Curry.
Yeah.
Yeah. I mean, Steph Curry, he revolutionized the game. I don't think okay, when I first saw it, I was like, Steph Curry's a little bit high, no, but I feel like that's fair just because he did revolutionize the game, so I'm not gonna blame him. I think his spot's fine. Would y'all agree or disagree?
It's tough because he's in the league, and I think that we're gonna run into that with a lot of players that are still active, because it's hard to judge the trajectory. But if he comes back from his injuries and starts hitting 300 3-pointers a season again, we're not even going to be discussing it. He might be a top 10 player of all time. So I think 13 is fair, but 14 is definitely too high for Kevin Durant because Dirk's 1 ring means more than Kevin Durant's 2 will ever mean.
He really did only win 2 rings. All right. Fair enough. All right, so at 21, Scottie Pippen was there. In my opinion, I think he's a little bit too low. I would probably put him over KD. That's just me. But
I was in agree, Simon. I was just about to say that next. That's the next thing I would say. I think Scottie Pippen deserves to be higher than a 21. Definitely above Kevin Durant. Also, Kevin Garnett. Kevin Garnett is right in front of him. Why is Kevin Garnett right in front of him? Scottie Pippen is a much better player than Kevin Garnett. But
Scottie Pippen has 5 more rings than Kevin Garnett has.
Yeah.
True. Yeah. I mean, okay, I get it that he had Michael Jordan, so I guess they hold that against him. But he was still really good though. He led that Bulls team to the playoffs after MJ left, and he locked down the best players on the other side of the court, from time to time. So I don't know.
I was just gonna say Pippen was the best defender on the best team of all time. Pippen could guard 1 through 5. Kevin Garnett can't guard a point guard.
He cannot.
Yeah, probably not. I don't think he would be able to guard a Westbrook.
No way.
Okay.
Like a fast burst one, So
yeah. All right. Were there anything else in this group of 10 here that we could dispute? I don't know. There is a lot of people you can move up, to be honest.
Pippen's top 20, right? He's inside of 20, 19 at least.
Of course. Yeah. Is KG top 20? Because I don't think he is.
I think he's pretty high. He does have the 1 MVP, but
okay.
MVP's a big deal. MVP awards are a big deal, but his ring doesn't mean a whole lot to me because he wasn't even the second best player on that team.
Fair enough. I believe that.
So good defender.
Move on.
But yeah. Do you want me to get the next 10?
Yeah, go for it.
All right. So at 22, we got Elgin Baylor. 23, Charles Barkley. 24, David Robinson. 25, Kawhi Leonard. 26, Dwayne Wade. 27, Giannis. 28, John Stockton. 29, Allen Iverson. 30, Steve Nash. 31, Isaiah Thomas. And I think that's a good place to stop because there's definitely a lot to dispute here, in my opinion. I think that this is the most, the worst part, the worst set of 10 on this list.
All right, well, let's talk about it. Here, you bring up one player. Y'all bring up one player.
Well, there's a lot to talk about, Jesse. Okay. Isaiah Thomas is too low.
Yes.
He's easily a better defender than Nash or AI were, in my opinion. And he has rings too, and he was the premier player on the Bad Boy Pistons. And honestly, he was a pretty underrated scorer. Like, he dropped 40 in a couple of playoff games. So that's just my opinion. I think he's a better point guard than the other two.
Yeah, no, I mean, I agree. Rings mean a lot. So, I mean, at least to me, they mean a lot. So, like, I would probably put him over Stockton, Nash. I mean, AI was really entertaining, and like he was my boy and all that. But I would probably have to put him over AI. That's close.
It's definitely close because AI was just so good.
What do y'all think about Giannis being at 27? I know, he's been doing some crazy stuff, but I don't know if he has the winning to be this high. If I'm just being honest, I feel like he's an amazing player, don't get me wrong, but I just feel like he doesn't have enough playoff wins to be here.
I mean, he's only been in the league for 5 years.
Longer than that.
Are you
He
sure?
entered when he was 18.
Well, I mean, it still in relative terms, he hasn't been in the league a super long time, and I think that alone shouldn't, okay, so he's been in the league 7 years, and he's here on his ceiling, right?
Sure.
And he's won an MVP, but like you said, there just hasn't been enough success in the playoffs, and I don't know, if Giannis's career ended right now, I don't know if he'd be a legend,
I don't think he would. I feel like okay, I'm not gonna go there. I was about to say that he would kind of be on the same par as Derrick Rose if he got injured and retired right now. That's not fair. I don't know. I just don't think he deserves to be in the top 30. What do you think, Jesse?
I don't know. I think it's all right. Just leave it at that. We've talked about how there's controversy all over, and I mean, obviously, we have our own biased opinions. So, yeah.
And your biased opinion is that you really like Giannis.
I do like Giannis. I always draft him every single time in my fantasy league for NBA. So, I like him. I think he's cool, and I think it's all right that he's there. I mean, he's 27 right now, and I think he's a young guy, obviously. So maybe he could be a little bit lower for now, but I think eventually he'll be a top 25 player.
If he just stays on this same track, and even if he doesn't win a championship, I think that's not a bad place to be. He'd probably be a top 30 if he just kept doing the same thing that he did, and he would just get the same knock that Nash and Stockton have. But
Charles Barkley's
a little high, not gonna lie.
Yeah, one player I wanted to just touch on real fast. I mean, obviously, again, go back to bias. Allen Iverson. I think he's a really good player, and I think he was cool. I think he should maybe be a top 25 guy, but that's just my opinion.
I kind of agree. I agree with that.
I mean, he is one of the best scorers to ever play the game.
Yeah.
And he was pretty sick as a Denver Nugget.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm saying. The bias comes out a little bit there.
Yeah. I mean, but he's still good, so.
Yeah. What do y'all think about Kawhi being decided? I feel like that's okay. He has 2 rings. Or wait, yeah, he has 2 rings.
2 rings and 2 finals MVPs on, not super teams.
Yeah.
At Kevin.
Is this a fair spot for him?
I would probably put him behind Dwayne Wade just because his career numbers aren't anything crazy quite yet.
Yeah. No, doesn't Wade have more rings? Wade has 3.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. No, I could live with that. I mean, that's not a huge shift either, though. So, okay.
No, it's minute, but I think it's kind of obvious, though.
Yeah.
Like I said with Giannis, if Kawhi just keeps playing at the level that he's at, he'll be all right.
Okay. We didn't talk about Elgin Baylor.
He's right where he belongs. He's a baller, dude.
Okay, fair enough.
I don't think you can move him back.
Slide.
That's
No,
all.
I don't think you can move him back. How many? He has more than. He has like 4 or 5. Hold up. No, he doesn't. Rings?
No, he doesn't have that many, but also his career average is 27.4 points per game and 13 rebounds.
It's true. He. Oh my God. He averaged 38 points a game in one season. That's kind of insane. While being enlisted in the army and only playing games on the weekends. Okay, I'll give it to him.
Yeah, he's legit.
Yeah, I thought there was an argument there, but there's not. I'll let it slide for now. You can move on if y'all are good.
Yeah.
All right, I'll take the next 10 here. So at 32, we have James Harden. 33, John, how you say it?
Havlicek.
Nice. All right. 34, George Minkin. 35, Jason Kidd. 36, Kevin McHale. 37, Patrick Ewing. 38, Bob Pettit. 39, Walt Frazier. 40, Chris Paul. 41, Bob Cousy. And 42, Russell Westbrook.
You said,
Okay.
What you got, Simon?
There's a lot of like Celtics players on here. Okay, I think everyone knows that I don't like Boston at all, and I don't like any of their sports teams. I feel like y'all are on the same boat too, but I don't know.
I mean, I'm not like a Boston fan, but like these are some ballers on this list though.
Oh yeah, I mean I get they helped Larry Bird win his rings. I mean, okay. Let me backtrack. I don't mean any disrespect. Like they still did their job. It's just you know. I mean, I don't know. Here, let's start with James Harden at 32. That's way too high for me.
Yeah, I wanted to just bring this up real fast. So on the list I'm looking at, it gives you the change from the last time they did this in 2016. James Harden went up 65 spots. Well, I mean,
What?
yeah, he went. That's what it says. This is plus 65. So James Harden has gone up 65 spots in the last 4 years.
Ah.
I mean, he has changed NBA history a little bit in the past 4 years, but like
I don't know about that much.
Yeah, no way.
He's one of the best scorers of all time, in my opinion. Like a top 10 just flat out scorer. But he's not the 32nd best NBA player of all time. Up 65. That means that he wasn't even on the list last time. Like top 74, that is.
You're right.
I don't know about that one, Chief.
He doesn't deserve to be there. I mean, like, look, this might be a little disrespectful, but when I think of James Harden nowadays, I think of Devin Booker. And y'all know I don't like Devin Booker after the whole double team thing, his little practice or workout or whatever. So I mean, I don't know. Like, sure, one MVP is cool, couple playoff wins, but nothing serious. You know, nobody really took him seriously outside of him being a scorer.
He did almost single-handedly beat the Warriors in that game 7 because Chris Paul was out. And I think if that Rockets team goes to the championship, they could probably beat the Cavs.
I mean, yeah, but they didn't.
True. And the rest of the team shot really bad for 3. What did they miss? 30 of them, I think it was.
Yeah, that's a D'Antoni system, though. You know, that's just what he's gonna do. But they didn't have a center this year.
I got a question for y'all. Does James Harden become the 32nd best player of all time if, when this season resumes, which we'll get to in a little bit, the Houston Rockets win the NBA Finals?
Yeah, sure, I'd give him that spot.
Just you don't look as sure.
I don't know. Still, no matter what, me and Sam were talking a lot about this when it was just me and him talking about the NHL playoff. Is even if the Rockets win this year's championship, there's still going to be an asterisk next to it.
Yeah.
True, that's true. I mean, because look, like, You're comparing him to Kevin McHale, Jason Kidd. Well, maybe not Jason Kidd. John Havlicek, like those great Celtics we just talked about, who won multiple championships and were like big, parts of those championships. So like, James Harden better than somebody who actually, won a chip and was pretty good, contributor to that team? I just don't think so. I mean, I would put him over Jason Kidd. I would say that just because Jason Kidd, his low key, his career is a little overrated. I'm not gonna lie, and I'm a Mavericks fan, and I have his jersey.
Bro, how could you say that?
Hey, it's okay. I have his jersey. Look, dude, 12 points per game, like 8.7 assists, like game, like those are his career highs. Like it's cool, it's cool, but like.
Oh, he played for a really long time though, and he's the only person even close to John Stockton in assists and steals.
Yeah. I'll give him that, like he was a good, I'm not gonna say stat pattern, like, he his stats were, nice at times. It's just I don't know, like the translation of those to wins sometimes are a little off, not gonna lie.
I would take Kidd over Harden. I think Harden should be moved back to 39 right by Chris Paul, honestly.
Wait, would put Harden over Chris Paul?
I'm saying he should be in that general area.
What do you think, Jesse?
I think that probably, I think Chris Paul should probably be ahead of James Harden.
Yeah.
And so
I
should
kind of
Russell
agree
Westbrook.
too.
So should Russell Westbrook.
Yeah.
All right, we'll take it. We'll take it and run.
Okay, yeah. I mean, I just think James Harden is a little overrated at times.
I'd agree.
And something and prove me wrong. That's it.
Even if the Rockets go to the finals, Westbrook's going to be the finals MVP. So
True. Yeah, so I would still put Westbrook over him. All right. Yeah. I mean, other than that, actually, like I don't know, like how I feel about the Celtics players. I think this is a fine spot for them to be in the middle of the top 74. So I'll let it slide.
Patrick Ewing is kind of underrated. I know he didn't win a ring, but he's a great center. I would probably put him over George McCann, dude.
Yeah, Patrick Ewing is the next guy I was going to talk about. I think he should be higher. I think he deserves to be higher. I should say that.
Yeah. I mean, I don't know, because George McCann, he was like, I guess one of the pioneers. So I feel like this list kind of puts some of the way older players like a little bit higher just because of like what they did for the game.
Bro,
So-
what George McCann did for the game was he goaltended for like 5 seasons, and then they were like, "Hey, you can't goaltend
All
anymore."
right.
Like, come on,
Okay.
dude. If Patrick Ewing
Well-
could goaltend, no one would ever score against the Knicks.
Now that's why there are goaltend rules impacting the game. Okay. I'm not gonna argue. Patrick Ewing's real underrated. He should be, a little higher. I don't know about way higher, but just a little.
I mean,
Give
he's
him
the
that.
New York Knick of all time.
Yep.
Yeah.
And that means
Yeah.
something.
Well, I mean, it means something, just not. Yeah, sure, it means something. I'll just say that.
Just
It means
because you're
something.
mad at James Dolan, don't take it out on the Knicks. They're important to basketball.
Yeah, bro. Yeah, sure. Yeah. Okay. I want to move on.
Yeah.
All right, so moving on, we got 43 Rick Barry, 44 Elvin Hayes, 45 we have Anthony Davis, 46 we have Dominique Wilkins, at 47s we have the Iceman, George Gervin, at 48 we have Bill Walton, at 49 we got Reggie Miller, at 50 we have Wes Unseld.
Yep.
Wes, yeah. 51 we have James Worthy. At 52 we have T-Mac, Tracy McGrady. At 53 we have the glove himself, Gary Payton.
I had no problems with the glove.
I feel like he should be higher.
Well,
Are you laughing?
because he shouldn't. But anyways,
Look, man. Okay, actually, we'll save that for the last dance talk whenever we get to that. Yeah, we'll save it for that.
I have no problems with the glove. That's my favorite quote of all time. Anyways.
You gonna tweet it?
Yes. Find at codes 8088 on Twitter. I had no problems with the glove. Anyways, the biggest headline from this is got to be, from this list in particular, has got to be Anthony Davis, right?
Yep.
Yeah, no, I agree. You shouldn't be that high.
Yes. I mean, it even says here in the description, makes this list off the promise of what's to come, but also at the beginning of the list, it's telling you that the list is decided by like career achievements and peak, and like, bro, I don't know. Anthony Davis might not even be like the best big man in the NBA right now. So like,
yeah, you're not wrong.
I mean, he's more exciting than some other big men in the NBA. We know, you know who we're talking about, but that doesn't mean historically he's the 45th best player of all time.
The only
Has
thing
he even played? Go on, Jesse.
The only thing I struggle with is his whole career has been injured, basically. How do you put an injured player, basically, an injured player on the top 75 board, or 74, sorry?
I don't know. I just don't think you can.
I think he's only here because of that one series that he swept the Trailblazers, which is a sorry franchise anyway, so.
Hey, Kodey, relax. I mean, look, I don't think AD has even played 82 games. How about this? Has he even played 70 or 60 games? I really don't think he has.
Well, he definitely won't this year.
There you go. I mean, it's not his fault, but still, there you go.
And it's mad disrespectful to Dominique Wilkins, Gervin, and Reggie Miller. Those are the ones, and James Worthy, who's a Finals MVP. What? How could you put Anthony Davis ahead of one of the premier pieces of the Showtime Lakers?
I mean, you're right. I don't think you can. And look, this is just me. This might be a little controversial, but I'd probably rather take prime Dwight Howard over prime Anthony Davis. Yeah, I would say that. I would take prime Dwight Howard over prime Anthony Davis. So there you go. Also, I feel like Dwight has done more in his career right now than AD has. So.
I don't even disagree. Jesse, do you?
No, and it's also disrespectful to have him on, have Anthony Davis on there and not even have Dwight Howard on here. Well, I mean, like I said, we're going to get to that. But yeah, he's not. Dwight Howard's not even on the list.
It's messed up.
Yeah, exactly. I don't know. He doesn't deserve to be this high. Low-key, I don't think AD deserves to be on this list. Maybe at the back, like the real back in like 74 or 73. But
you can put him at 75.
Sure.
That way I don't have to read his name on this list. James Worthy is so disrespected on this list. They don't even put him as a top 50 player of all time, which is ridiculous because of how much he contributed to the Showtime Lakers. Like, he has one of the most iconic performances of all time. They even have a blurb about it, 36 points, 16 rebounds, and 10 assists in a Game 7 of an NBA Finals. Nobody ahead of him has done that. Like, at least in this section of 10 that we read, and a lot of people ahead of him, even beyond that, haven't done that. So that's like mad disrespectful. And like, I don't know what you can really hold against him as far as being behind some of these guys. And Reggie Miller, I think he's pretty underrated because he was like the all-time three-point leader for, well, I want to say like 10 years, and then the game changed. So those are my biggest takeaways from this part of this list.
Yeah, I agree. Reggie Miller, if Reggie Miller played in today's game, in today's game, his averages would probably be way higher, and he might have won something.
Yeah. I mean, he did all of that shooting in an era with like no spacing.
Yeah. All right, so we're in agreement there. Okay. I mean, is there anything else or what?
I thought you might have some T-Mac praise, but
Why?
I don't know. I just thought you might have some T-Mac praise, but he's all right.
I think this is a fine spot for him. It's not too high, not too low. I think it's just fine for him.
All right. Well, I'm gonna head and just
rip through the last.
Yeah, I'm gonna sprint through the last like 20. So
Go for it.
I'm gonna just say 54, and from there on out, the listeners have to keep track of what number they are, and unless we bring it up. 54, Paul Pierce, Vince Carter, Ray Allen, Clyde Drexler, Mono Ginobili. Oh man, we'll hear about that in a second. Bob McAdoo, Willis Reed, Robert Parrish, Dennis Rodman, Alonzo Mourning, Earl Monroe, Pau Gasol, Dave Cohens, Alex English, baller, Pistol Pete Maravich, Bernard King, Tony Parker, also overrated, Bob Lanier, Damian Lillard, Mount Mutombo, and Artis Gilmore. There is so much wrong with the end of this list, but there's also so much right as well.
All right, well, let's start with the wrong then, per usual.
Go for it, Kodey.
Dude.
Yeah.
Oh my God. Mono Ginobili is not the 58th best basketball player of all time.
Absolutely not.
We get it. He did the Euro step, and that's like cool and all. But dude, Bob McAdoo won an MVP averaging 32 and 13. Mono Ginobili in a whole season has never averaged over 20 points in a full regular season. You know that? Never over 20. Get out of here with that nonsense.
Okay. I mean, I don't know. The Euro step's kind of a big deal, though. It wasn't like it wasn't nothing. I feel like Ginobili deserves to be on this list because of what he did to get the Euro step, where it is today.
Bro, there are some games where like you won't even see a Euro step once.
What?
Yeah, you heard me. There are some games where neither team does a Euro step once.
Maybe it's because I watch the Mavericks all the time. But like Luka literally does it all the time, and anyone else does it all the time. Like, even Porzingis does it, and that dude's like 7'3". So like,
but Simon,
I don't know.
Also, both from Europe.
Doesn't mean anything. LeBron does it all the time. Yeah, he does, bro. Yeah, yes, he does. He does it at least once a game.
Pump fake a Euro step, bro. LeBron like when he goes to lay the ball up.
Dude, it's still a Euro step though. Everyone changes it, like that just because that's their game, I don't know. I don't think he deserves to be at 58, but I think he should be on this list.
If he's on this list, he's at 74 for me.
I mean,
yeah, that works for me.
Obviously, this is big news because of like The Last Dance, but like he's in front of Dennis Rodman.
I mean, look, I love Dennis Rodman, but he couldn't shoot or score really.
He really couldn't score, but
I mean, I'd probably still put Dennis Rodman in front of him. Not by a lot, to be honest.
Dennis Rodman has 2 Defensive Player of the Years. Okay, so who did what better, at their job, right? Dennis Rodman's job, play defense and rebound the ball. Mono Ginobili, score?
Yeah.
Facilitate.
What'd you say?
I said facilitate because usually he'd be off the bench, so he'd be their 6th man, and they'd run the offense through him when Tony and Tim Duncan were on the bench.
Yeah, fair enough. And I think Dennis Rodman is a better rebounder / defender than Ginobili is playmaker.
Sure.
Especially compared to other, defenders and rebounders. Dennis Rodman is arguably the best rebounder of all time.
Mm-hmm.
And Ginobili is not the best playmaker of all time.
Okay. I'd put Dennis Rodman over Manu Ginobili for sure. He should probably be a little bit higher. Where was he at again?
Rodman was 62.
Yeah.
So I don't think he should be ahead of Bob McAdoo, because McAdoo's a baller. But or Willis Reed. I think more than anything, Ginobili just has to move backwards.
Yep.
Okay. All right. I can live with that. I think he should still be on the list though.
Yeah, he'd be on the list, but in the 70s.
Yeah. Also, I don't think Tony Parker should be on the list.
I was going to say that too.
Okay, well, what about Tony Parker though?
Exactly.
Like, why shouldn't he be on the list?
Because, dude, honestly, Ginobili's a better basketball player than Tony Parker. And he was only around for 3 of the rings.
Yeah, I mean,
these guys' success, a lot of it is attributed to Duncan.
That's what I was just about to say is all Tony Parker really did was pass the ball to Tim Duncan.
Yeah, I mean, he was a part of a good squad, just like Havlicek and all those Celtics guys. Am I wrong, or?
I don't see it. I don't see, he's probably a top 100 player of all time, but I mean, there's not when I think of Tony Parker, he drives the lane and he does a teardrop and he scores a few points a game. But other than that, like Jesse said, he passes it to Tim Duncan in the post. What does Tim Duncan do in the post? He scores. Tony Parker gets assists.
Yep.
Because Tim Duncan's a nice guy and he doesn't take more than 2 dribbles to score in the post.
Okay, sure. I mean, I don't know. This is just my opinion, but I've always thought Tony Parker was way better than Jason Kidd. Well, I mean, I'm just saying, look, if that Mavericks team had Tony Parker and Jason Kidd, I'm just saying we'd probably be way better off.
Did you forget that Jason Kidd carried 2 Nets teams to the finals? With Kenyon Martin as the second best player?
Yeah, bro, but did they win?
Tony Parker on those Nets teams wouldn't have even sniffed the finals.
The East was kind of weak at that point, though. I'm not gonna lie. Looking back at it, what?
It's okay to be wrong, Simon.
Dude, come on, bro. Okay, you got the Pistons and you got the Nets. Who else do you have?
The 76ers. With AI. That Jason Kidd would have to guard.
Yeah, okay, sure.
Steals on. The best ball handler of all time, arguably.
Hey, AI?
Yeah. I just said ball handler.
Okay. Oh, okay.
I didn't call AI the best of all time. I need to clarify that to the listeners. I don't believe that.
That's still only 3 teams in the East. That's besides the point. I've always thought Tony Parker was better than Jason. I think he deserved to be on this list. And not because, look, obviously Dirk came in and he was this huge, European player, whatnot, literally. But Tony Parker was a really big deal too. Not just for, this is, this isn't just, I know this is a top NBA list. I feel like Tony Parker definitely opened the door for a lot of Frenchmen to come over and for a lot more Europeans to come over, because I feel like a lot of people viewed guys like Dirk Nowitzki, or even before that, Vlade Divac, Drazen Petrovic as like unicorn types. They're 1 in a million type of guys. And Tony Parker kind of normalized the European in the NBA.
But Manu Ginobili is the one who won a gold medal.
Okay. Yeah. So
I think that Ginobili
could both be on the list.
Belongs in the 70s and Tony Parker doesn't. And I'll reinforce my Tony Parker point on the next segment on who should be on this list, who wasn't.
Okay, fair enough. I'm just being honest. I feel like there were a lot of players, maybe not a lot, but there's a good amount of players that don't deserve to be on this list. So I feel like Tony Parker doesn't completely not deserve to be on. That's what I'm saying.
Okay.
All right, moving on. Do you want to talk about Damian Lillard? Do that.
Okay, I'm actually not even going to cap Damian Lillard's really good.
Okay, there you go.
if he keeps playing at the pace that he's playing at, he's better than Tony Parker. So
yeah. Well,
the only thing you can hold against him is that year that he had CJ McCollum and a healthy Nurkic. He got swept by the Pelicans in the first round. The Pelicans.
It's true. Okay. Well, we'll let it slide then. I mean, he's not even that high.
Yeah, he's all right.
All right. Okay, well, hold on. What about this? Paul Pierce.
I think Paul Pierce is okay. I think Clyde Drexler should be ahead of Ray Allen, probably, but that's a very minor thing.
Okay.
I mess with Paul Pierce. He was the best Celtic player on that big four. He doesn't have any good takes on ESPN, but that's okay because that's not what we're talking about.
All right. Well, I'll let it slide. All right. Well, there weren't really a ton of other players that I had in mind. I feel like Pau Gasol deserved to be there. He's a little underrated.
Yeah.
Is there anything else?
I think that's good. I'm more excited to talk about who didn't make it.
All right, well, let's do it. In the next segment, we're going to talk about the snubs who did not make this top 74 list. Coming up next.
Welcome back to Cycle 365. Kodey just had a crazy look on his face. That can only mean one thing. That here in episode 36, is that correct?
Mm-hmm.
We just talked about the top 74 players, and now we're talking about the ones that didn't make it, the snubs. And Kodey is not happy about it, so we'll let him start. What do you got?
Bro, I can't believe I didn't realize this, but Chauncey Billups didn't make the list.
Yep.
Are you kidding me? Are you actually? Oh my! The disrespect. And I just realized that Ben Wallace isn't on the list from that same championship Pistons team. Wow.
Yeah.
Wow.
Can you tell me Tony Parker's on there?
And yeah, You're gonna tell me Tony Parker is better than Chauncey Billups? You're out of your mind. You've lost it. Oh my! I'm so.
Yeah, let's talk about it then.
Go for it. Kodey.
Oh my gosh. First off, Chauncey's averages are almost the exact same as Tony Parker's at 15 points per game and 5 assists per game. So I'm just going to put that out there. Oh my.
Did Chauncey win a championship?
Yes. With the Pistons.
Oh, wait. Yeah, you're right. Oh, that's throwing it way back. Okay.
And,
sure.
And he's arguably like one of the premier players on that list too.
And we can't forget this. He went to the University of Colorado. Go Buffs.
Let's go Buffs.
Hey, fun fact, my cooperating teacher actually got to guard him in high school.
That stinks.
That's sad.
I know, because one's an NBA player, the other one is a high school PE team. Anyways, let's go on. Chauncey Billups deserves to be on this list. I kind of forgot him too.
I mean, it's easy to do just because he wasn't like a flashy player. He passed the ball and he splashed threes just like efficiently.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah. All right. Well, okay. So there's no dispute there.
God, that's so yeah, he won one with the 2004 Pistons. And this Pistons team is like pretty good. Like there's a handful of people on this team that like Ben Wallace, who's like arguably the best like defending big man in a time where Shaq was in the game. Like, yeah, that's disrespectful. Chauncey Billups is a top 74 player of all time.
Yep. Do you have anybody else, Cody? Or we could just go around with.
Let's just rotate through us.
I'll go ahead and go next then. I mentioned him earlier in the podcast. Dwight Howard. I think Dwight Howard deserves to be on the list. When he played in Orlando, he was the only one that could do anything. So I think he deserves to be on the list. You guys have anything to say about that?
He got them to he didn't win an NBA championship, but he got him there, and that's kind of a big deal. So,
I mean, just looking at his resume, 8-time All-Star, 5-time rebounding leader, 2-time block leader. Like, he actually kind of made blocks like important, like, because like the 90s had Mount Mutombo, right? The 2000s had Dwight Howard. That's what I think. And like, I can't even name one other player on that Magic team that was in that championship.
That's what I just said. He's the one that could do anything.
Oh, Turkaloo.
He's also a 3-time Defensive Player of the Year. He actually won it 3 years in a row.
Yep.
Dwight Howard? Okay, yeah. I thought you were talking about Hito Turkaloo. I was like, I don't remember that.
No, I think Jameer Nelson was on that team too, but he's bad.
Yeah, like a really young Jameer Nelson.
Gosh, okay. Bro, if Dwight Howard could hit free throws earlier in his career, dude, because that's what everyone did. They hack-a-shacked him, and oh my gosh, he'd be insane.
Yeah. He still killed it though.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. He deserves to be on the list. All right, Simon, who you got?
So I feel like this is where it gets a little bit more, blurred between the lines, I guess. But
before you say between the blurred lines, there's one more player that we haven't talked about that absolutely deserves to be on there. That's Carmelo Anthony.
Oh yeah, you're right. Yeah, Carmelo Anthony for sure.
Multiple time scoring champ for 2 different teams and 2 different conferences. What was look, and this is like, maybe this is just a personal opinion, but I think basketball is like more fun when the Knicks are good, and like in a time where like you had like the big 4 in Boston and the big 3 in Miami. Like, Melo was really doing the most, and he was averaging over 30 points a game. I think he did it 3 years in a row. He averaged over 30 points per game. And you're going to tell me that Tony Parker is better than him just because he played with Tim Duncan and won some championships? Like, the best player that Melo played with was like an older Allen Iverson. And we know that those play styles don't
match up.
Not at all.
And yeah, sure. I was just going to say if KD's on this list, then Carmelo Anthony should be on this list.
Exactly. And do you know KD's at 14?
KD's at 14, and Melo isn't even on the list. On this website that you were talking about, Jesse, he was ranked as 59, and now he's not even there.
What happened?
There hasn't been like 15 players better than him in the past like 4 years. Are you kidding me?
Yeah. I mean, he just gets a bad rap because of everything that went down in New York and Houston, and kind of with the Thunder as well, so.
Yeah, but that doesn't mean that he's not a baller. Okay,
sure, yeah.
Would you be mad if you were in Melo's position in New York where, like, the best player that they ever got you was Amari Stoudemire and Jeremy Lin?
And Chandler was the defensive player candidate, though.
That was after the run with the Mavs, right?
Yeah, he was still, like, he spent his last prime years with the New York Knicks.
I don't know. In a conference that has the big 4 in Boston and the big three in Miami, that just doesn't work.
Yeah, I mean, all right, sure. Like, I mean, he deserves to be on this list. I'm not gonna make excuses for him, like, not getting it done, because I feel like he did definitely have some dudes there. I mean, they were pretty deep, if I remember. J.R. Smith and Iman Shumpert did a pretty solid job for a couple years there, on and off the bench. So, I mean, and that's just role players too. Like, Tyson Chandler wasn't a bad center. Mari Stoudemire, when he was right, he was good every now and then. I mean, Jeremy Lin wasn't bad.
The Heat's role player was Ray Allen.
Yeah, for like a couple of years, but like before that, it was like Mike Miller.
Hey, put respect on Mike Miller's name. He's wet. Pause.
Okay.
From three.
Okay.
He's wet from three.
Yeah, Carmelo deserves to be on this list. That's all I'm saying. He deserves to be on this list. If KD's on there, then Melo's on there.
Those are the three, I think, clear-cut guys that need to be top 74.
So now we can go into some blurred lines. Go ahead. Go ahead.
Yeah, I had a couple. I mean, I'll just start with these two, really, the Hardaways, Penny and Tim Hardaway. I feel like one of those guys should be somewhere in there. I don't know. Maybe it's just me or what, but I feel like one of those guys probably could have snuck their way in. If we're going to bash on Tony Parker, then sure. So, yeah, I feel like one of those guys probably could have snuck their way in.
I'd say probably Tim Hardaway, just because if I remember correctly, his longevity was better than Penny Hardaway, because Penny Hardaway's biggest issue was injuries, But he was an exciting player to watch.
I mean, Jesse, what do you think?
Yeah, I think they could get in there, one of them.
Yeah, all right. Sounds good. Did y'all have anybody else?
Yeah, could you got someone else?
Yeah, Chris Webber isn't on the list.
Oh. Right.
Right? I feel like that's also actually like.
And coming up again, Tony Parker is.
And see, the more we look at who's not on this list, that Grant Hill isn't on this list. Are you going to tell me that Tony Parker's better than Grant Hill?
Oh wait, Grant Hill. I don't know about Grant Hill, to be honest. That's just because of his injuries.
He was so good.
Yeah, he was, but so was Derrick Rose.
Don't even start with me like that.
Hey, I think we forgot to include Sean Kemp. Did we include him?
Oh, no. I was talking about that between the break, though. Yeah, Sean Kemp. Dude, we'll talk about this on The Last Dance a little bit, but that was so disrespectful when they're like, yeah, and he had a great alley-oop partner in Sean Kemp. Bro, Sean Kemp was a bully down low. Like, Sean Kemp could dunk on anybody in NBA history, and I have zero doubts about that.
Yeah, probably. I mean, I'd probably give him 3 tries versus everyone, and he'll probably get at least 1 on everyone. So, I agree. Sean Kemp was good for a lot of reasons. So, like, it wasn't just Gary Payton, and it was definitely not George Karl that made the Seattle Supersonics go. So.
Yeah.
Yep. I just want to throw out one more name. He was on the list that Kodey showed me. He's not on this list. Again, bias coming out. I think he's a great dude, and I think he, probably one of the best guys I've ever seen play basketball, and that is Andre Iguodala. I think he should get at least some say. He was a workhorse. Sure, he's not the flashiest, biggest star there is, but, I mean, almost every team he played on, they won. So, I mean, he's one of the best role players I think he's ever played.
I mean, he won a Finals MVP as a 6th man.
Yep.
Yeah.
I think there's probably just some like recency bias with like the whole Grizzlies thing. I bet that's why like he hasn't been brought up. But you're right though. Dang, I didn't even think about him.
He's the hardest worker I've ever seen.
He's a great defender.
Yep. He can score.
He was great on the Nuggets before he Kevin Duranted us. Remember, I've made this point once. I've made this point twice. I've made this point a million times. Andre Iguodala, the original Kevin Durant, because the Nuggets lost to the Warriors, And then the next year, he was a Denver Nugget, important player on our 55-win team, and then he jumped ship and went to the freaking Warriors.
Yeah, that was last
Hey,
guy.
man.
Go ahead, Tom.
It's a Nuggets problem. I got it. Nobody else actually cares. Oh, you're right, though. I would probably take. I mean, Anthony Davis is on this list, and I would probably take Iguodala over him because, like, low-key, Iguodala was kind of fire back in the day. Like, he was so explosive, and his dunks were like, they were pretty interesting. Not gonna lie, he was killing it.
Mm-hmm.
You gotta kind of feel bad for Iguodala too, because his most iconic play is probably him getting blocked by LeBron James.
Yeah, but I don't know.
Yeah, but that's LeBron.
I think he at least deserves some say.
Yeah, he should. I think he should be on the list. I agree.
I think I could see him in the 70s.
Okay, yeah,
Right next to Ginobili, probably.
sure, yeah. Okay, yeah, I was about to say maybe a little higher, but I don't know. All right, I have one more, like an older guy that comes to mind, and it's Chris Mullin. I feel like maybe he should be somewhere on this list. I don't know.
Chris Mullin's good. I for a second I thought you were gonna say Sam Jones as far as old heads go, because Sam Jones is old school.
Yeah,
But he won a lot of chips with the Celtics, so I mean everyone did back in the 60s and 70s.
original super.
So, I mean, Mullen was good. I do want to pose a question to you guys about some modern NBA players and if their trajectory has them set to land in the top 74 or if they're top 74 all time right now. And the two that I'm thinking of are Klay Thompson and Paul George.
Okay. I thought you were going to include Kyrie Irving for a second.
Oh, actually three. Kyrie Irving.
Okay. I would probably give Kyrie Irving and Klay Thompson the edge over Paul George.
I'd agree.
I think Klay might be a top 74 player all time right now.
I agree.
Out of the three of them, just because, I mean, dude, he's scored the most points in a quarter because he dropped like 39 off of like 7 dribbles. And like, you know, I'd even say he's probably a better catch and shoot guy than Steph Curry is.
I mean, there's no arguments here. I kind of agree. He probably should be in the top 74.
Yeah.
With some pretty interesting records.
He's also a pretty underrated defender too.
You know, he could probably also play center field like his brother and also be really good at that too.
Center field like his brother? Wait.
Brother's a baseball player.
Who's his brother?
Chris Thompson?
What? Are you serious?
Klay Thompson's brother plays for the Los Angeles Dodgers.
I didn't know that they were brothers.
Yeah.
Hold up. I need to see this. I need to see them right next to each other. It's probably I'm gonna see it and I'm gonna feel stupid.
His dad, Michael Thompson, was in the NBA too.
Oh, that's not Chris Thompson who I want. Oh my gosh. Why is this so hard?
Let's look up the Dodgers roster. Is he not on there anymore? He might have gotten traded.
This is a disaster right now. Chris Thompson baseball. You think that'll do?
Thompson on a baseball.
I'm surprised he's not coming up. I mean, he started for them most of the year. Just look up Klay Thompson's brother.
That's literally what that was. Klay Thompson brother.
It's Thompson, the running back.
There he is. I don't see the resemblance, so I'm not even upset at myself that I didn't know that. Trace Thompson.
Oh, sorry.
That's what it is.
Traced.
Chris Thompson is that running back for the Redskins.
Oh yeah. He's winning a lot of points in fantasy, so I guess that's just my mind. But anyways.
Yeah, wow, what do you know? Maybe. Athletic family.
Yeah. All right. So, I don't know. I can't think of many other current day players that should be on this list. Thompson should probably be there for sure, I would say.
And if Kyrie could do anything other than like whine and bash his own teammates, he might be on there too. God. If he stayed in Cleveland, they probably could have won another championship.
Maybe.
They definitely would have.
Maybe. The Warriors did load up the next year, so.
Where's Chris Bosh?
No.
Hey, Chris Bosh. Gosh. I mean, don't get me wrong, he's pretty nasty in Toronto, but honestly, I think that the whole like LeBron joining, like, you have to spell like big three with a capital B, but like a lowercase t, because like Chris Bosh, I don't know. I just really don't think he was that good.
I agree. I don't think
I think his best ability is photobombing. That's really funny when he does that during interviews.
Okay. All right. Well, that is everyone I could think of as of right now. Maybe Horace Grant. Horace Grant might be another one, but I don't know.
Oh, actually, Horace Grant, low key. Well, I mean, then you have to start bringing up B.J. Armstrong and Tony Kukoc and stuff. I mean, if the Celtics get all their players onto the top 74 from like 3 championships in the 80s, then why can't 5 Bulls players from 6 title runs be on there? It's a good point, but Horace was definitely the best of them, though. Of like,
the best role players?
Well, Horace wasn't a role player on the Bulls team, bro.
Hold up, what do you mean the best of them on the Bulls team?
Like of the Bulls team that isn't on this list.
Oh, okay. Needed to make sure. All right.
Well, no, I'm not.
Still the role players.
He's not a role player. He was a starting power.
I know he was a starter, but you know what I mean. I think you do.
Yeah, I'm picking up what you said down.
All right. Any last comments on this?
I mean, he shouldn't be on the list, but Nate Robinson was fun to watch dunk at 5'5".
True.
It was fun. Remember when he tried to make it into the NFL and then he got cut? Or well, he didn't even make it onto the roster to get cut. Never mind.
I mean, didn't he do that when he was like 2 years old?
He was up there. He might have been a little bit older than that.
All I know is that he dunked over Shaq, which is like pretty sick.
Mm-hmm.
I love watching that video of them in practice when he just does it on a whim because Shaq's just standing there like, I don't know, picking his nose or something. But I think that does it for this segment. And we're going to keep the ball rolling here, the basketball rolling here, and talk NBA return next segment. Welcome back to the Cycle 365, episode 36, recorded on June 8th, 2020. Did you introduce the date earlier, Simon?
Yeah, I did.
It doesn't matter.
Yeah.
Because I did it now, and if they didn't hear it earlier, they'll hear it again. Or for the first time if they didn't. Anyway, NBA is coming back. And from Woj on ESPN / Bleacher Report, this is the setup, is that 22 teams will go to Disney World in Orlando to finish off the season from July 31st to October 12th. They'll each play 8 regular season games to figure out final seeding before the playoffs start. The 16 current playoff teams will be joined by the Pelicans, Blazers, Suns, Kings, and Spurs out of the West and the Wizards out of the East, as those squads try to catch the number 8 seed. If a number 8 seed is up by 4 games or more at the end of the regular season, they earn the final playoff spot. If not, that unlocks a play-in tournament between number 8 and 9, and the 8 seed would only need to win 1 tourney game, while number 9 would need to win 2 games to take the 8th seed. And teams will start practicing locally in July before a full Orlando training camp ahead of the season restarts. And players will receive daily coronavirus testing and be required to follow social distancing protocols, but will reportedly be allowed to play golf and eat at outdoor restaurants.
Golf. That's all I need.
Steph Curry is going to get his swings in, dude.
Yep.
Shout out to Peyton Manning and Tiger Woods for beating Tom Brady.
Okay. So, all the teams that made it that are like that you just listed, they all have to play 8 games, right? Or is it just the bottom?
Well,
okay.
All of the teams are. So, all 22 teams are playing 8 more games for seeding purposes as well. So this gives the Nuggets a chance to like steal the number 1 seed, which doesn't matter other than who your opponent is.
Really. Yeah. Okay. 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 Well, let's talk about it.
Jesse, what do you think of the return?
You know, not the biggest basketball fan, so it doesn't really matter that. But just kidding. It's not a big fun thing. You know, it's in Orlando. That's always fun.
Dude, the Orlando Magic could have home court advantage for all of the playoffs.
You're right. I think it'd be cool. I mean, obviously, I think it's good that all these professional teams are going with the tournament approach because tournaments are fun.
They are fun. I'm really excited, and that's part of the reason why I don't think that there should be an asterisk next to whoever wins the championship this year. Because I think this might be the most competitive basketball that we'll ever see, honestly.
Mm-hmm.
Simon, what do you think?
It could be the most competitive gameplay that we've ever seen, playoff-wise, I should say. You know, at the same time, everyone's been taking a break. Some people don't know how you could be a professional basketball player and not have like an indoor court or a basketball court at all. But I know some people not have a basketball court to be playing on, like Giannis. So, yeah, I don't know. Maybe there's some rust there. Yeah. I mean, honestly, my only complaint, if there was any, is that like it's starting kind of late because it started. So the 8-game thing, not even the playoffs, but the 8-game regular season play-in or whatever, that starts on July 31st, and then by the end of of the playoffs, so like Game 7 of the finals, that's like somewhere between the first week of October, I want to say, and then the NBA draft is October 15th, and then the next season starts December 1st. That's like, oh no, that's not a long time at all.
Oh yeah, the gap between the end of this season and the beginning of next season is not at all. Really, it's like a month, which as a sports fan, I'm okay with. Yeah, so October 12th, Game 7 of the NBA Finals, December 1st, opening night for 2021 season.
It's okay. They've been sitting around for the last, 5 months?
Yeah.
That's true. There's still 8 other... that's not even really a lot. When you really think about it, like the majority of the NBA is playing, and then 8 other teams are not playing at all. So, that's interesting.
The New York Knicks.
Cute.
Warriors.
Chicago Bulls. Ugh.
This part interesting. The Dallas Mavericks have played the most games before the quarantine at 75, while the Spurs and Lakers have only played 71. So, I don't know. We'll have to see how that plays a role into seeding.
Man, I can't wait for Simon to come up with an excuse of fatigue for the Mavericks when they lose in the playoff series.
Because I'm trying to trying to get the numbers right. I don't think there's any way the Mavericks could drop out of the playoffs. That's my worry at number 7. If you add 8 losses, I don't think we would lose 8 straight games. Assuming, the worst, if the Mavericks went 40-35, I don't think we'd be out. But the Grizzlies would be 40-33, so I don't know.
I don't think that'll hold you guys out. I don't know. I don't have to worry about it because the Nuggets already clinched, so.
Yeah. Yeah.
And speaking of the Nuggets, and you talked about the break. Have you guys seen the picture of Jokic following quarantine?
Yeah, he's in shape.
He lost so much weight, and someone said that he has a 4-pack.
A 4-pack?
A 4-pack is better than what he had, a gut. Bro.
Man.
In shape Jokic about to play 50 minutes a game.
Man, I'm saying, I feel like either way the Mavericks are going to have to play the Clippers, and there's no way out of it. I don't know. They're only one game ahead of, because this is the thing, because you can't really predict standings as well. I guess once this whole thing starts, because like everyone's played a different number of games, so like it'll be interesting to see like who moves up and who moves down, even if it's by a little bit.
I mean, you guys could probably pass the Rockets and make the Rockets play the Clippers in the first round.
Yeah, I mean, we'll see. Ideally, there's a scenario where Denver plays Dallas, because I'm not gonna lie, most Dallas fans, this isn't just me. So this isn't just my brother. Like, when I've talked to Dallas Mavericks fans at home, all of them want to play Denver because that's the squad that we feel like we could take out the most of the top 3 in the West. Like, there's no doubt about it. No offense, it's just,
bro,
we got more wins over y'all.
Weighs 250 pounds, and Jamal Murray said that we're going to win the championship. I'm feeling pretty good.
How many points did Jamal Murray average this season?
He about to average 30 in this tournament.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see. I mean, altogether, I like the idea. Like I said, I would probably just like it to start a little bit earlier and then move the whole timeline back, because that's not a lot of rest. I mean, I don't know, like talking about September, most teams would be done and they have maybe 2 months-ish of rest. Well, not even that, because training camp starts earlier. So they don't have 2 months of rest. They have less than that. So, I mean, I think it'll be fine moving forward. It's just it might be more of an impact on next season than anything,
Well, compared to the likes of baseball that's starting to look like they're not going to have a season at all, I mean,
It's true.
And I think that the revenues from TV ratings for the NBA with this season format are going to be the highest that they've ever been. Jaw, calm down.
Yep.
So I like it, and I'm excited for it because, I mean, more than anything, LeBron James just got 5 months of rest, basically, and he's going to come back juiced.
Same thing, Anthony Davis.
Probably bronze sexual.
Coming from the biggest... Don't even cap like that.
Hey, man, look, this is a serious question. Do you think that because of the break, there is a higher possibility that there will be some upsets, not just in the West, but I'm kind of looking more at the East, to be honest?
I mean, yeah, I could see the 76ers probably losing in the first round. If they're playing
right now, they're
worse than them.
Okay.
I don't really see Miami doing that. I could probably see the Bucks doing that, though. I bet Eric Bledsoe hasn't even picked up a basketball since the end of the season.
I know Giannis hasn't, so yeah. I don't know. Not gonna lie, I don't feel as good about the Bucks right now, if I'm being honest. it's not just the whole Giannis thing not having like a hoop to hoop on, but it's kind of a big deal too because there's a lot of rust there, you know. Like I'm sure he'll be fine. They have 8 games to get ready, but at the same time, and at this point, if you're the Bucks, do you want to play Giannis for those 8 games when you're probably still going to be the 1 seed, even if they lose 8 straight games, which I don't see happening. But
I mean, I'd play Giannis, but I wouldn't play him for his usual like half an hour. I'd probably play him for like 20 minutes a game just to get the rust off.
Okay. What do you think, Jesse?
What about the Bucks or about the whole thing?
Well, about the Bucks and then the whole thing.
Well, yeah. Obviously, as coming from a coach's perspective, you need to have Giannis play a little bit. You can't just sit him all 8 games. But get him some reps and get the flow back with the starting 5, so that when you do get there, you're ready to go.
Okay, fair enough. I feel like there's going to be at least, I'll call it right now, there's going to be at least 2 upsets in this playoffs. It's not even that big of a, yeah, but I'll say 2 upsets. I think that's pretty reasonable, if I'm being honest.
Maybe.
I would love to see 2 upsets, not
Dallas beating the Nuggets.
Not Dallas beating the Nuggets, but like.
Oh, that's the one I'm looking at.
I mean, shoot. Dude, honestly, I would be ecstatic if like the Rockets faced the Clippers in the first round and then they beat the Clippers. That'd be lit.
There you go.
Oh no.
I mean,
I don't think the Rockets could beat the Clippers.
James Harden is in pretty good shape.
Yeah, he's in good shape. I mean, even before the season, I don't think the Rockets could have beaten the Clippers. I don't think they have anybody who could answer Montrezl Harrell or even Ivica Zubac. Like, those are the Clippers' big men, and the Morris brother. I don't know which one, but one of them. So that's kind of a tough matchup. And then you got like Russell Westbrook and James Harden. I kind of trust Kawhi and Paul George both taking turns guarding them too. So not the worst. I don't know. I don't feel good about that one, honestly. But you know how I feel. I don't like the Rockets. I don't think they're gonna be great either way.
We will see.
We'll see. It'll be good. It'll be fun. But
anything else you wanted to add on this topic?
I don't think so.
I think I'm good.
All right, well, basketball fans, we'll see you in July.
That's still so far away, dude. Oh.
No, that's like 2 months from now, basically.
July?
It's July 31st.
Yeah, basically 2 months, but not that long. But anyways.
I mean,
think about this.
Right.
This is what I was saying. Think about this. You know when all this started? It was the beginning of March.
Dang. Right.
Why does that feel simultaneously so recent but so far away?
Right. But anyways.
I don't know what time is right now, but no. Like if I'm being honest, like all I know is when I go out and hang out with people, and that might be once a week for some people. So it's just there's no dates anymore really, and it is what it is. I'm glad we're having something back. That's it.
In the immortal words of your boy Thanos, there is no time at all.
Okay, well, we'll get to that in a second.
Speaking of Thanos, next up we're gonna discuss our undrafted free agents for our Fantasy Fictional Football League, and then potentially discuss some plans for the league and they want to go forward with this league. So next up is our plan for our own league. It's like the NBA made up their plan. Coming up next.
Welcome back to the Cycle 365, episode 36. This is our last segment of this podcast, and it is going to be where we are going to announce our undrafted free agents for the Fantasy Fictional Football League. And then, we'll go around and do that individually. So I'll go ahead and start. At backup quarterback for the Comic Commanders is going to be Anti-Monitor. He destroyed the multiverse, so he's going to destroy some defenses. But anyways, backup running back is Bizarro. Backup wide receiver is Supergirl. Backup offensive lineman, Gorilla Grodd. Backup defensive lineman, Hades. Backup linebacker, Maleficent. And backup defensive back, Scorpion.
All right. And up next, I will announce the new additions to the Titan Moons. We got backup quarterback Dracula from the Castlevania franchise. Don't mix it up with any other franchise. It's that Dracula because he's a G. Now, recently signed as Power Girl at wide receiver, who's going to take the wide receiver 2 spot from Carnage. I'm already telling you now. Backup running back, I got Ghost Rider. And backup offensive line, probably a guard, is Diva from Overwatch. Then on the defensive side of the ball, we got Ganondorf drafted to the defensive line. Dr. Manhattan as a linebacker. So we might see some 4 linebacker sets, honestly. And Captain Adam at defensive back.
There you
go. All right. And the undrafted free agents for the Winterfell Star Killers consist of quarterback Adam Warlock, backup running back Martian Manhunter, who will probably get a lot of reps, not going to lie, because this is a triple option offense. Our backup offensive lineman, so we can move him wherever, is Baymax from Big Hero 6. For our defense, we picked up backup defensive lineman Sabretooth from the Marvel Universe. Then we have at linebacker, our backup is Kratos, the God of War from the God of War series. And our backup cornerback / defensive back is the Human Torch. And at safety, who will probably take Deadpool's place, is the Scarlet Witch.
Yeah, she should.
Yep.
You know?
Mm-hmm.
I feel great about my team. I'm sure y'all do too, but that's just personal biases.
Do we want to talk about these guys for just 1 second? Like go through each.
I mean, I think we should talk about, who do you think, Jesse, as the owner of the Comic Commanders, who is the biggest upgrade that you got in this undrafted free agency?
I'm gonna be honest. I think there's multiple free agents that are going to play quite a bit on this team. Example, I mean, Captain America is probably going to be starting quarterback, but the Anti-Monitor is not bad there. He might get some reps. Looking at Supergirl is probably going to play quite a bit. She just adds an extra element to that receiving core that we didn't have. And then I think the biggest upgrade is going to be Gorilla Grodd, who will probably take over the starting center position. We'll move Bowser out to left guard, and Sully will sit the bench. So I think that's the biggest upgrade we got on this for this free agents.
That's right. Sully's a really supportive teammate.
Yes.
So good locker room guy.
Yep.
I'm going to, at first glance looking at your team, I thought that Supergirl and Anti-Monitor were some big upgrades for you. But following your assessment of Gorilla Grodd, I think that's a big upgrade just because you get to put Sully on the bench. No offense to Sully.
Yeah, I will say one other thing too. I don't know if you've seen it, Kodey, but with the Flash and Gorilla Grodd on the same team, there has been in the show and in the comics, there has been a time where they mesh and make a Flash Grodd, which is terrifying if you have a gorilla running at you at flash speed. So look out for that.
Yeah, that's good. And I also think that Scorpion might compete with Black Panther for that starting defensive back spot. Yep. Simon, your thoughts?
I was about to say the same. I actually really like Scorpion as a backup DB. We were kind of talking about this off air. I think all of us were kind of considering him or Sub-Zero at one point. So there you go. I really like the Supergirl pick. I mean, you really can't go wrong with players from Krypton, to be honest. Whether it's Superman, Supergirl, General Zod, even Crypto the Super Dog might get picked up eventually. But you really can't go wrong with those Kryptonians at all. So I think that's an excellent pick. Yeah.
Dude, how come I just realized that like Crypto would have been a great mascot? Crypto the Super Dog. That'd have been a great mascot. we might be in a name-changing phase of this franchise already.
All right.
Who's looking at it?
Simon, you want
to? Next.
Oh,
or mine.
We could do mine too.
Go for it.
So, I think that Power Girls far and wide the biggest upgrade that my team has experienced because, Carnage was, first off, Power Girl is going to be a less toxic presence in the locker room than Carnage. And like you just said, Simon, those Kryptonians, they bring some oomph. And I think that fixes probably my biggest weakness on offense. And then Diva also gives me some flexibility because I have no problem at putting Diva at tight end 2 and running some 2 tight end sets. And she also play fullback. So while offensive line is said, she's pretty versatile on the offensive side of the ball.
All right, go ahead, Simon.
All right. Okay, so person I think will probably make the biggest impact / there's a big upgrade would probably have to be Dr. Manhattan at linebacker. He's kind of OP, not going to lie. He's pretty up there. So I would probably see him overtaking Genie for sure. I think you already said that, though. Did you?
I said we might see some 4 linebacker sets because they're all really good.
Okay, yeah, you're right. I mean, you could see that, too. Or Genie could move around. Either way, 4 linebacker sets, whatever. I think it's still a good pick, because he's somebody who could definitely, you could go head to head with the best of them, I feel. So that's the one I'm looking out for sure.
I was also going to say Dr. Manhattan. He was the top of my free agent board as well. He got taken before I could get there. So, Dr. Manhattan is going to be a monster in the league. I think he could win obviously there's no 6th man of the year. We're talking about basketball and football, but he could win that for sure.
Yeah, he's definitely looking to make an impact on this team, and he's definitely OP,
Yep.
And he's a first-round talent that fell to be in the undrafted free agency. So,
yeah.
So, Simon, what do you got to say about your team? What upgrades do you like, and what new additions do you think will help you?
I really like some of the new additions I got on my team. I'm not gonna lie, I'm biased, but we got some guys and girls who could definitely, start and get some significant reps. I like Adam Warlock as my backup quarterback. We'll probably never use him at quarterback because, Superman's not gonna die anytime soon unless y'all have some sort of tonight. Well, then that affects your Kryptonians on your team too. So I don't know. We have Adam Warlock.
We have less Kryptonians than you, Simon. That's all I'm saying.
You each have one though.
You have 2 Kryptonians.
General Zod is a Kryptonian.
On both sides of the ball. Hey, if y'all want to play it that way and, go the PED route or whatever, then that's on y'all. We play clean over here.
All right.
No, Oakland Raiders clean. But anyways, running back Martian Manhunter, I really like him. Loki, I kind of feel like he might overtake Goku, or they might just split carries. I don't know. We'll see. I like it. He's somebody who could definitely start for sure. Kratos at linebacker, he's the god of war. Where could you go wrong with that? He's a violent guy that you like to have in the middle who could probably move all over, to be honest, whether it's inside or outside. And then lastly, Scarlet Witch, I think, will probably be the biggest difference on the squad because she's going to take Deadpool's spot. She could manipulate reality. And as a safety, that's a really big deal. And I think she could cause a lot of chaos that some of the tougher guys on this defensive side of the ball, are already doing. So she kind of just fits the mold. A chaotic character.
I know me and Kodey here are talking about two people here, being Martian Manhunter and Scarlet Witch is the biggest upgrades on this team. I'll go ahead and do Martian Manhunter at running back. This scares me. I had him as a quarterback on my free agent board. So Martian Manhunter, you could get him in there and run some real crazy trick plays. So I think Martian Manhunter is a good upgrade, and I definitely think if I'm running this team, he might even get more carries than Goku, to be honest. So
Yeah.
Yeah, Martian Manhunter, I thought about drafting him at quarterback in the first round of the real draft. And, I got a little bit too confident. I thought he was going to slide. But I definitely think that Scarlet Witch is the biggest positional upgrade on this list because, Goku's no scrub at running back, but Deadpool is a scrub at safety. So,
Okay.
So Scarlet Witch is, you don't want to make her upset. She doesn't like to give things up, and I think that she's gonna play smart as well on the defensive side of the ball, and she's gonna bring a different level of seriousness as well. So,
yeah.
So,
go ahead, Simon.
I was just gonna ask y'all, did y'all want to just give some details about what we were thinking about with the league? It doesn't have to be anything official. It's just friendly banter.
So moving into the actual league phase, we decided that we're going to try this because there's no sports at the moment. Maybe we can just make up our own sports. That's what we're going for here. So we were brainstorming things about this, and what we came up with the best. I'll say what we came up with first is probably going to have to do with a dice game where we all get together and we would pick plays and stuff like that and roll dice and see how all that would work out. That makes it a little bit more, even because probability of dice is, a much different than just if you just take their overall ratings. So that'll make it more like a real thing. Some things that didn't work, I tried to do a team builder on NCAA, but they took team builder down, so that was sad. And then I tried to do it on Madden, and that didn't work either. So those are two things that we thought maybe we could do it visually, and it would also make it really fun, but they didn't work out. So we are going to try and roll with this dice game. Obviously, there's going to be some things we're going to work on, and we haven't really put together how long the season's going to be or how it's going to go, but we have the rough draft.
Yeah, we're definitely. We got some ideas of numbers here, and we're definitely going to have to edit it a little bit because Heimdall's not stronger than Captain Marvel.
There will definitely be some.
Oh, you mean attributes? I got you.
Yeah. And that'll have something to do with the dice too. If any of our listeners have ideas,
go and drop them to us.
Tell us. We said it once. If you know of simulations, let us know. So we're saying it again. Let us know.
A great example of the modifications is obviously a great example that me and my friends are talking about is. Drax may not be the most powerful dude, but he's one of the most athletic dudes in the field. So, that'll have to be a little bit of we'll have some modifications to that. But, it's fun.
Yeah.
For sure. Either way, I think this is going to be really fun because all we really need is the outcomes and then some stats. And from there, it's basically just going to be us three making up a really cool storyline. And this is a podcast anyway, so y'all aren't going to be able to see anything. Outside of our social media, go ahead and follow the Cycle 365 on Twitter, Instagram, Facebook, YouTube as well. But for the most part, y'all are going to be listening to us, and we're going to kind of be like announcers, kind of like sportscasters, because it is our league. So I'm looking to get super creative with it. I think it's going to be fun.
Yep.
I agree.
Yeah, but I think that's all we have to say about this Fantasy Fictional Football League. I will say to end this podcast and to wrap up this fourth segment, we do have a few big announcements. Well, now announcements and just news. First of all, we'll get to is based on all of what's going on in the world right now. Just before we started recording today, on Monday the 8th, the NHL made a groundbreaking hire. They hired their first Latino front office guy. The Arizona Coyotes. What is his name, Kodey? I forgot his name.
Xavier Gutierrez?
Where is it? Oh yeah.
Is it spelled?
Yeah, Gutierrez. Xavier Gutierrez.
Okay. Gutierrez.
Yep. Xavier Gutierrez is the first Latino front office man to play in or to be in the NHL. So that's some pretty big news, especially in the wake of what we've been talking about the last few weeks on the podcast and what's been happening in our world. And then the second thing I wanted to bring up, more a little bit hits home, but our friend and co-host here, Simon, has got a job. Congratulations.
Yeah. Hey, thank you. I'm not going to say where because I think I might be crossing some boundaries. But yeah, I finally got one, and I didn't think I would. No cap. Yo, I could say this because I got the job now, but no cap, they interviewed me for 15 minutes. I met up with my friend, and she was like, yeah, another school interviewed me for 10 minutes, but they were never seriously, like, considering me. So I kind of just thought for the whole weekend that I wasn't going to get it. I did.
Still beat.
Sir.
But anyways, so that's it. What we have for news and sports right now, and for this podcast, we look forward to moving forward and bringing you content of our own sports league, being the Fantasy Fictional Football League. So stay tuned for that. So yeah, thanks for joining me, guys, and it was a good podcast about basketball and fantasy fictional stuff. But anyways, I'm Jesse Booten.
I'm Kodey Stauffer.
And I am Simon Villanos. We'll be going back to our regularly scheduled content. So the next episode should probably be the next part of a mini-series on youth sports. Check that out. That should drop on Monday. Yeah, show us some love on social media. That stuff. Hey, check out the last podcast about Black Lives Matter. That is the most important episode we've ever done.
Yes.
Peace.
Peace.